Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Business Access TV is here at the JSC Core Competencies to Excel as a Corporate Secretary. I'm your host, Andrew Laidley. Please stay with us.
I wish to welcome you to yet another workshop, Corporate Secretaries Workshop. As you know, we have these workshops each year, and the reason we continue to do so is that we feel that we should be at the cutting edge of any changes that is occurring in whether locally or globally. We feel that the workshops have been beneficial to us so far, and that with each day when we have these changes, we should continue to look at educating the persons in this industry. This morning and this workshop is very special, as we will be hosting, it is being hosted in association with the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators. And as we move towards introducing the Corporate Governance Index, I think today is especially important so that we can see how this can be incorporated into what we do as company secretaries and others within the industry. It is especially important that we look at this to see how our companies will score higher in terms of corporate governance. Today is intended to be a very good workshop based on the persons who will be presenting. So I invite you to stay tuned, ask the relevant questions, and ensure that when we leave here, we can implement what we have learned.
The Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators is an institution that certifies secretaries, chartered secretaries, and I believe it is the only institution in the world that does that. It's incorporated by Royal Charter and has its base in England, London, England. And our dear leader, Simon Osborne, is the CEO of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries. In Jamaica, we have the Association of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, which is a branch of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries. Today, we are very happy to be hosting this seminar with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and I hope that what we present today, you might find something to take away from it, because we are going to try to give you something practical that you can use in your everyday life.
Governance has to suit each jurisdiction. One size cannot fit all. Even within a peer group of companies engaged in similar activities, similar business, because the dynamic is going to be different, because the business conditions are going to be different, the governance framework will necessarily be different. And as you comply or explain, also within a peer group of companies doing the same, broadly the same activity, you will find that they comply in different ways. And that's the beauty of a code of principles. So what do we mean by governance? The Cadbury definition, the process by which an organization is directed or controlled. The other perceived virtue of corporate governance on the part of politicians and policymakers is that it leads to increased opportunities and choice for all. And that's one of those wonderful glib expressions that rolls off the tongue of a politician. And it sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But what on earth does it mean? As a political aspiration, it's great. Opportunities and choice for all. Hurrah, yeah, we'll all vote for that. But can we really expect corporate governance to deliver such an overtly political objective? I'll leave that one hanging in the air. Poor old Bob Diamond, he gets a bit of a caning over this one. He did actually say that corporate governance is not how you behave when you think no one is watching. He did actually say that. But I think it's a good reminder that, there's no point trying to do one thing, say one thing and do another. That sort of hypocrisy, you'll get found out eventually. The truth will always out. Governance is concerned with the exercise of power, the role of directors, the responsibilities of shareholders, and how those are balanced. And it also deals with disclosure, transparency, accountability, internal control, and making sure you avoid that concentration of power in too few hands. Hence the desire, it's now become standard, certainly in the UK. America's finding it harder, but actually separating the roles of chairman and chief executive so that you achieve a more constructive tension at the top levels in the C-suite. What are some of the governance hot topics? Well, I don't know what it's like here, but remuneration in the UK never ceases to amaze me. And the way in which non-executive directors serving on remuneration committees aren't smelling the coffee, I just don't get it. But and the United States is just as bad. And what that is leading to is remuneration which is detached from performance, or levels of remuneration detached from performance, are just leading to increasing inequality of wealth. And I think that could lead to unfortunate consequences socially. And it's something that has to be tackled. Hot topic. Legal risk has risen up the scale of corporate risks. The whole board diversity thing. Gender is a major factor. But there is no doubt about it, board behaviour improves the more women join the board. And I know that from my own experience, funny enough, in a charity where I was deputy chair and I chaired the nomination committee. And I had to wield the knife. I removed 6 older male trustees, brought in 4 ladies, all of whom were younger. The average age came down. The speed with which business was transacted improved. Shorter board meetings, I'll drink to that, made a difference. Now that's one example, but I think there's no doubt about it that I think the presence of women in boardrooms adds beneficially to the decision-making process. You've got the whole responsible capitalism issue, the managing of stakeholders and accountability to wider stakeholders. And that, interestingly, has led to the appointment of a committee now for a code of governance for private companies. I think that's long overdue in the UK. When you think about some of the bigger private companies, and I'm sure you've got them here, if one of those collapses, the impact on the economy and on the government could be significant. And then the whole question of board evaluations. Following the financial crisis, ICSA did some work on boardroom behaviours, the conclusion of which were 4 uncomfortable truths. Well-run companies can make strategic and sometimes catastrophic misjudgments. Risk management not properly overseen, monitored or reviewed by the board. Often it was just left to the audit committee. It's a board responsibility, is oversight of risk. Remuneration and incentivization not aligned with shareholders' interests, and a failure to inform stakeholders, not just shareholders, stakeholders, sufficiently. That work we did identified 3 areas needing attention. Institutional. Are corporate governance policies and architecture fit for purpose? Has management installed adequate processes and systems? And are directors exhibiting appropriate behaviours? So we had there the institutional, the organisational, and the behavioural. Now, we identified in that work that good practice boardroom behaviour was characterised by those 9 features. So clear understanding of the board's role. The board is there to oversee the management of the business. The board is not there to manage the business. And non-executive directors forget it's a case of noses in, fingers out. They smell the state of the business, they don't finger it. Does this business pass the smell test? Once the non-executive directors start interfering in the management of the business, it's very hard to hold an executive to account. You can't. You've syndicated the responsibility and the liability. Appropriate deployment of knowledge, skills, experience and judgment. So what balance of those have you got on the board? Independent thinking. Assumptions and established orthodoxy need to be questioned. Challenge has to be constructive. If people come onto a board full of suspicion or just trying to show off what a tough guy I am, I'll show these executives up for a load of incompetent idiots. If that's the mentality which a non-executive has, they're asking for trouble because it will just lead to tension, in fact conflict on the board. Non-executive directors have to be constructive friends of the management team. Can't overemphasize that. Constructive friends. Yes, and it's knowing how to challenge in a way which doesn't put people's backs up. And it requires a skill, emotional intelligence for a start. Yes, there has to be rigorous debate. The decision-making environment has to be supportive. There needs to be a shared vision. And for the chair, it's vital to close each item of business in a timely way, not let it go round and round and round ad nauseam. That's not the way to do it.
We go to a short break. More when we return.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Welcome back to BATV's coverage of the JSE core competencies to excel as a corporate secretary.
We are now going to have a panel discussion, as you will see, and members of the local chapter will be participating, and Mrs. Henry Pottinger is going to be the moderator, and they're going to be talking about things that happen in a very practical way.
How rewarding is your job as a company secretary? Any tips that you can give to budding company secretaries, people who are waiting in the wings to take over your jobs? For me, I enjoy my job. I will not work anywhere else until I retire than with KPMG. As to rewarding, yes, it is rewarding in many respects. I like to see that the people who I work with, they are enabled, they are eloquent, they can answer questions from shareholders, they deal with matters like that with alacrity, and they're very responsive.
It's not glamorous in the sense that if the reward you're looking for is your name in lights, it's clearly the wrong profession for you. So I'm glad that Liz actually said the word enable, because you are an enabler, you're a facilitator. You know, we all understand, certainly after listening to Simon this morning, the importance of corporate governance. Well, all of that falls on your shoulders for you to administer. You pull it together. You keep all the moving pieces going in unison, and you don't, there will be no name in lights, certainly not where I operate for that. So if that's what you, but it can be, obviously it's very rewarding in other ways. just in terms of tips, I can't stress enough. Well, there are two main things I'll say. One is that just you have to have a high level of administrative capability, and and obviously you can't do it on your own. So whether it means an internal team or going for external support, you have to be extremely organized, and you have to make sure that you create a lot of systems which allow you to ensure that you comply with all the requirements that you have, which are numerous. Other than that, I can't stress enough the importance of what we keep calling soft skills, but they're not soft at all because they're critical for the role. Definitely, there's a higher level of judgment and diplomacy and management of relationships of people which is involved. We talked a little bit earlier about the relationship the tension between management and the board, which can sometimes exist. And in that case, your role is critical because you really are the diplomat who has to kind of navigate those two relationships and those two different sets of roles within a company. So that I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure that you develop your relationships and that you manage personalities.
I recall some years ago I did a document for my chairman, and I went to him and I'm explaining to him what it is that I'm doing and what it is that he needs. He says to me, where I must sign. So it gives you that level of confidence and trust, and to ensure that what you're doing and what you're presenting is correct. And you must build up that whole self-integrity so that, it is not questioned. And I feel that if I have to take something to somebody and they ask me, so where is this or what is that? I do my own self-assessment, because when I do a document, it says where, what, when, why, who, and so forth. So I ask myself those questions so that, you can develop that trust when you're working with somebody.
The job is really very, very interesting. The things that come across your desk are amazing, dynamic, invigorating, challenging. Scope is very, very diverse. Corporate governance has really taken its hold, on Jamaica and within the Caribbean. There is just so much that we have to learn and offer to our clients and to ourselves. Certainly, if someone is looking at this as a profession, I think corporate governance is the way to go. That's just me personally. You will always assist and help your clients, but there's always a nuance on what has occurred, what should have been done, and how we're going to correct it. And that's what I love about it. And working with PwC and my team, we have just so much to do. You've got to be very structured, lists, and more lists. You have to be very detail-oriented and be able to pick up, and very meticulous, and be able to pick up errors very easily.
In my role as a corporate secretary, the reward for me is I am constantly learning. Every day there is something that I didn't know, or something now that I have to go and know. And it is no 2 days are ever the same. Especially in our company, which we tend to be very entrepreneurial, the ideas come, and as a company secretary and as compliance, I have to research to say, can it be done? Can it not be done? Would this be in breach of anything? I would also advise that the regulators are good allies. From where I sit, I call them a lot because I need their guidance. They are more intimate with the laws and regulations and how they interpret what I am asking them to just bounce things off. So I would ask you to use them up. The company's office, the stock exchange, the Bank of Jamaica, the FSC, they're all very open to questions. No one has said no to me yet. Even if they don't know the answer, they'll research it and get back to us. And our real success lies in having a great team behind us, including KPMG.
Thank you.
And our team in DOMREP, Trinidad and Jamaica, that supports me because we just could not do it alone.
Thanks a lot, ladies. I hope then that those of you in the audience found something informative, instructive, that you can take away from this panel discussion.
Coming up after the break, what companies need to know about the Corporate Governance Index.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back to BATV's coverage of the JSC core competencies to excel as a corporate secretary.
So what is this corporate governance index that we have been talking about? And it really is a tool that has been developed to measure how all entities that are listed, at least surely for us listed on the stock exchange, how it conforms to various established corporate governance principles. Now, typically, the index has a numerical value, right, where the extremes of the values are overall good and poor. And also, it assists in improving the transparency and ultimately FDI for countries, because research has shown that countries and surely listed companies, like using the stock exchanges that have a corporate governance index, especially when there's not very strong regulatory environment for them to operate within, the corporate governance index has actually helped to create greater investment opportunities. And what the research has shown is that countries with the indices have shown significant growth in corporate governance practices. So let's talk a little about the Corporate Governance Index in Jamaica. And the index has been developed by the Jamaica Stock Exchange. As I indicated before, it's the first for the Caribbean region. The process that is being utilized is that it's going to be automatic, so that whether you're listed on the junior market or you're listed on the main market, you are going to be assessed using the index manual. So the purpose of the index, as stated by the Jamaica Stock Exchange, is to first of all periodically measure listed companies' conformance to required corporate governance principles and practices. It also should help to give companies an opportunity to differentiate themselves from other companies, because while all companies are listed and expected to be guided by certain principles and certain rules and certain legislations, you can differentiate yourself by the score that you probably will get based on the fact that you are adhering to a number of these principles. It will also provide a benchmark by which other parties, external parties, locally and internationally now, can gauge companies' adherence to corporate governance practices.
Every year, we have a workshop for the corporate secretary because we realize that they are an integral part of the corporate governance and effectiveness of publicly listed companies, whether it's on the junior exchange or the big board. And we were fortunate in that the head of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of the UK was coming on a visit to Jamaica to meet with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, because we are in the process of representing them in providing training and continuing development for corporate secretaries, persons who want to be corporate secretaries. And as a matter of fact, there is an upcoming fast track that's going to be available for attorneys and chartered accountants who invariably are performing the duties of the chartered secretary, and what it will allow them to do is to have the formal chartered secretary designation. So we felt that this was very important to continue to lift the profile of the chartered secretary and their role in listed companies.
I thought the conference was excellent, actually. The seminar was excellent. It touched on very important aspects that are critical for the development of our businesses within Jamaica and internationally, and for our companies, concentrating on corporate governance and the amendments that have just occurred in the Companies Act and why corporate governance is so important. So I encourage everyone to be at the next seminar.
The governance is here to stay. There's no doubt about that. And it's the proportionate application of governance principles which is so important in all types of organisation. But in order to be able to do that, every organisation needs to be clear about its organisational purpose. Then the board, the directors, need to be clear about the key values by which that purpose is going to be delivered. Only then can you devise a governance framework for your particular type of organisation. Every organisation, however big, however small, needs to do that.
Who does corporate governance benefit again?
Obviously, it benefits the companies themselves, it benefits their shareholders as the owners, or if it's an unincorporated body, the members. But it also benefits wider society. I think that's the important point. Their employees, those with whom they do business, and ultimately it benefits the government, because if an enterprise fails and is employing people and it fails because of poor governance practices, the ultimate responsibility financially was going to fall on the government, for example in social security payouts for unemployed people. I think also if companies fail because of poor governance, it doesn't reflect well on the country. And for a country that is trying to entice inward investment, if the governance framework isn't up to snuff, as we say, then that could have a potentially negative effect. So good governance, it just makes sense. There's plenty of anecdotal evidence too that good governance enhances reputation. It also, for organisations, particularly commercial ones, reduces the cost of capital. It just makes sense.
That's it from us here at the JSC Core Competencies to Excel as a Corporate Secretary. I've been your host, Andrew Laidley, and thanks for tuning in to Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I would kill people.
Cameo
takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really, really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Returns on time and online.
So we don't have to go out and pay any accountant to help us?
You don't have to. We offer that service, but if you so choose, that's fine too.
So you offer that service?
Free of cost. It's free of cost. And we will have that schedule available that kicks off around February, the beginning of February, our special taxpayer assistance program.
Yes, yeah.
We also have within our offices where persons can go into, we have 16 locations that we actually have what we call e-filing stations, or there's an e-filing center at our Constant Spring locations where persons can actually go in and use our own machines with support from our staff to file online.
I went on your site earlier and I saw that there are 4 simple steps or 3 to paying online. Can you just
Yes, paying online, because there are two components. So there's a filing requirement that's needed, as well as the paying. So once there is a tax liability, that means that you owe some taxes, then you would have to make a payment. And you can also make the payment online. And that's a simple process, as you say.
Yes.
You create a login, just as you do if you had a bank account or if you're using any other online services. You'd create your username and your password. That's basically what you would need to do. So you log on, you select which option you want to make a payment for, and you make a payment using your credit card. So it's pretty simple. It's just like any other site that you'd be making a payment on. And the steps are there. We also have on our website what we call a how-to, which guides you step by step, both for the filing as well as for the payment.
Right. Taxes are due on the 16th of March.
On the 16th.
Right. What if I don't get to pay my taxes by the 16th? What other
Well,
options
if you don't get to pay, and we're encouraging persons to pay by the 16th, file and pay. So it's not just the payment, it's also the filing. So that actual return form, the form, is actually important that is done on time as well. Because persons who are late in their filing, and 1 day late is still late. So you're late in your filing, you're late in your payment. There are penalties that apply to that. And we don't want anybody to pay more than they are due to pay. So we're encouraging persons to pay and file on time and online.
We need to at least also predict how much taxes.
Yes, so there are two things that you're required to file as of March 16, on or before. So there is the report that you do for what we call your annual income tax return, which actually looks at your tax payments due for the year 2019. So that's your past year. You're also required to what we call declare what you expect to earn for 2020. So those 2 returns are due by March 16.
Right.
So it's the income tax return for 2019 and your declaration of estimated income for 2020.
And what happens if the estimated income is not what it turns out to be?
Well, your estimate is usually based on the year before, but our system is what we call a self-assessment system. So you're actually assessing what your income is and what you're expected to pay.
Yes.
And let me just add here that for persons who are individuals, so your self-employed persons or your individuals, we're all of us entitled to what we call an income tax threshold. That's a tax-free amount. So if you earn $2 million for the year, for example, for 2019, your income tax threshold was actually 1.5 million. And persons would have heard the term 1.5 million.
Yes, yes.
That 1.5 million is the amount that you get without having to pay any taxes on it. So if you earn $2 million, then you only pay taxes on 500,000 of it, because 1.5 million of it would be tax-free.
Those for self-employed?
Self-employed, as well as our employed persons.
Oh, okay.
So for employed persons, you would see that on a monthly basis or a weekly based payment, depending on how you're paid.
Yes, yes.
You get it at the time that you're paid.
Yes. As we wrap, any advice for...
Any advice? The advice that I would give to persons, be on time, file online, and if you need assistance, contact our customer care center, or for persons who need that hands-on assistance, There are our special taxpayer assistance program that's provided free of cost. It's going to be right across the island. We'll have a schedule of when they are, where they are, and we are encouraging persons to take advantage of these free sessions.
Thank you so very much. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Chief Corporate Communications Officer at Tax Administration Jamaica, Mary Horton. For more information on all tax matters, call the TAJ toll-free at 888-829-4357 or email them at taxhelp@taj.gov.jm. The due date for filing income tax returns this year is March 16. Avoid penalties, save money. Until next time, I'm Enthros Campbell. Do take care.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
The story of reggae is one you've heard numerous times as different people have told it in so many different ways, but it never gets old. Today, in honor of Reggae Month, we bring you the Mikey Bennett story.
The music industry has been quite well documented, and to my recollection, it started more of an effort to play music that other people couldn't play than as an industry. So from where it started, for me, it started with sound system owners who wanting to remain exclusive, decided that the best way to do that was to, produce their own stuff. And people saw how important it was. Artists were, coming up. I think it was the birth of an industry. Reggae is the soundtrack of our lives, In other words, it's not like we made an effort to, we're gonna like reggae. Reggae is of us, about us, with us, and it has remained true to us as a Jamaican expression. And when I say reggae, I don't make the distinction between fast reggae, slow reggae, ska. I just call Jamaican music reggae. It was very unstructured in the beginning, and persisted like that for a number of years until people like Chris Blackwell saw the financial possibilities involved in investing. So I guess it really came to front with the Millie Small, that big hit that he had, and people started to see money. So this could in fact be an industry, and how popular music like ska was, that it gave rise to songs and bands, and people, Jamaica was dancing and people were enjoying themselves, and it probably was a good time in the history of Jamaica. Not everybody can do the twist. It kind of unearthed that spirit, that creative spirit in Jamaican, and we broke all of the recording rules, but we came up with a product that kind of represented the kind of Jamaican spirit, and that indomitable spirit, and it gave a sort of voice or expression to our Africanness. Like everybody growing up in my age, we had two sets of things. I grew up in the golden age of both Jamaican music and the Motown era and the Philadelphia era. And radio played a lot of American music. We were naturally drawn to the best of American music. But you realize that when you got to a party and they started to play the local section of music, because it was talking about things that you were familiar with. You went, and then you were able to see these individuals at stage shows and parties. So it became even more personal.
Standing at the party, watch me now. Ice cream, watch ya. Me a chat microphone from Melico, so.
Music is just being constantly made. I don't think we have taken time out to actually figure out how we're gonna monetize the creation of all this music. But it is there. It is being consumed in every nook and cranny of Jamaica, every bar, everything, and in households. And then we have this phenomenon of this weekly dance, this nightly dance, music thing on corners. And it has opened up a lot of economic opportunities for people in corners, bars, people selling on the road. And so it is almost self-sustaining by the nature of how it is done. So it is always going to be part of our lifestyle. From the 70s, 80s, 90s, Jamaica celebrated a number of great icons. We talk about the Ernest Smiths, the Pluto Shervintons, the Dennis Browns, the Gregory Isaacs, the Alton Ellis, and then we get into the megastar region, the Jimmy Cliffs and the Peter Tosh, and then the Bob Marleys.
I can't refuse it. Oh, what you be got to be. Well, I feel like dancing.
Growing up, Dennis Brown was everybody's favorite singer. So when I got an opportunity to work with him, it was like the crowning, day in my life, in my musical history.
My head is anointed, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow all the days of my life.
I was led into professional music through some people that already in music. And the first time I got into a recording studio and became a part of that creative process, I was hooked for life, I realized earlier I didn't have the singing talent like a lot of my friends and comparable, but I realized that my contribution could be through songwriting and later into production and later on into just mentoring young people. Because we have a studio at Grafton and we have a really close association with the Jamaica School of Music, I get a front seat, front row look at a lot of the young talent coming out. And then we have a rehearsal room where we are now. And we have a studio, so I get to see and hear a lot of the young talent and older talent. And here at Grafton we provide a sort of meeting place. I'm really always excited about introducing, new artists to old artists.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
It was Bob Marley who once said, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice." It is time for us to start unlocking our true potential and becoming better versions of ourselves. Oftentimes, we are too scared to take risks, afraid of being rejected and wary of failing. Do not be deterred by this, because when one door closes, another one opens, and you need to be ready to tackle every opportunity that comes your way. Do your part as we all work to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Reggae Month 2020 is here and a host of activities are in store across the island. Echoes of sound systems, Reggae Wednesdays, Reggae Gospel Concert, Bob Marley's 75th birthday celebrations, Jaria Honours Award, Reggae Film in the Park, Children of the Icon Store concert and more. Keep up to date on all the activities. Download the new Reggae Month mobile app. Simply search the words Reggae Month Jamaica in the Google Play or App Store. The app will also allow you to add and promote your own Reggae Month activity. So what are you waiting for? Download away and make use of this innovative technology today. Reggae Month 2020. Come catch the rhythm. Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Until then, please send your feedback on today's show to jamaicamagazine@gis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages and download our app on your Apple and Android devices. You can also visit our website, gis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
With empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
My name is Levon Flynn, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
You've acquired the perfect piece of property, and now the most anticipated and feared step comes next, the move. We understand that a move can incite so much stress, but don't worry. This week on Home Sweet Home, we're going to take you through the process step by step. Stick around, so much more after the break. I'm here with Lorraine Levy, CEO of Valerie Levy and Associates. Lorraine, thanks so much for having us.
Happy to have you.
Okay, so I've been looking at various properties and I found a suitable rental property. What's my next step?
Okay, once you've found a property and you've been working with a realtor, which I always do suggest, it's our job, it's our profession. We look for things in the units, in the leases that perhaps an individual looking on their own directly to a landlord might not often see. So what we find is that we get in touch with the realtor, you make an offer on the unit, it's accepted, we draft a lease agreement. Our agreements are approved by the Bar Association. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing their own leases because if you tweak any of the clauses, maybe it wouldn't stand up in a court of law.
So if the landlord does not have a lease, I should then go to my realtor and say, listen, I need you to do a lease up for me.
Yes.
Because it is in your best interest to have a lease agreement.
Absolutely, because the tenant and the landlord are equally protected in it. If the landlord has their own lease, sometimes the tenant wouldn't be protected, so I wouldn't advise to go that route.
Okay. And then how would a rental go if I don't have a realtor at all?
Okay, if you don't, I would still seek the advice of an attorney, and they do have a processing fee for a lease, and it's really for your security, because if anything happens during the tenancy, it would not be in your best interest to have a lease that was only drafted by the landlord.
I found my property, I'm ready to move in, and my landlord gives me a lease. What exactly is in the lease? What agreement is in there?
Okay, each lease is structured differently, and they're going to have different clauses. It's going to pertain to what you can do in the unit. It's going to address insurance for the property, and that you're liable for the contents. They are liable for insuring the actual building, whether it's an apartment, a townhouse, or a house. What they'll also ask you to do is to provide them with a job letter, a reference letter. It could be from a previous landlord, somebody that you're working with, and they would also ask for pay slips. So those are some of the things that a landlord is going to ask for ahead of time, just to make sure that you qualify and that you are truly able to pay the rent.
Okay, so how long does it take from me finding the property that I want to actually moving in?
It can be a very quick process. We find that rentals go very quickly. Most people do like to start on the first of the month, but that's not set in stone. You can start at any time. You can also prorate if you do want to start payment on the 1st and say you move in on the 15th. You prorate the rest of the month, and then you can still move in on the next 1st of the month.
And then when the person is ready to move out, whether they're upgrading or buying, what does the realtor do? What are the agreements with the landlord and a tenant?
Usually we put the tenant straight onto the landlord, so they have a relationship. Sometimes when they're about to leave, they will contact the agent they had before. Of course, if it's an agent that they were satisfied with, they will get in touch with them and say, we would like to find another place. Some people have an option in the leases that says that they have a first right of refusal to purchase a property once the tenancy is up, and they can exercise that as well. Normally they would at that point go back to the realtor and be able to make an offer for sale now on that property.
And does the realtor come in to make sure that the place is left in good condition to hand back over to the landlord?
Not necessarily. We do that at the beginning of the lease, and we go in and we make sure that everything is checked off. Especially if you're renting a furnished place, we have a list of inventory that has to be checked off. Lease is also going to speak to painting, cutting down of trees, what you can and cannot do in your unit, and that should be adhered to. So when you're handing it back over, you're supposed to hand it over in the exact same condition as you found it in. But we don't normally do that process. I mean, we can, and if we're asked to, certainly we would do that.
Okay, so monies have been exchanged. I now have the keys to my rental property. Am I now in charge of getting the water, the light, the internet hooked up?
Okay, all of that would have taken place before. Once you've agreed on the rental and you have signed the lease, if you go through a realtor or even straight to the landlord, normally they do letters to put those utilities in your name. The only thing that can't be transferred is the water commission, the NWC. That must remain in the owner, landlord's name, but all the rest go in your name so that they can be paid directly from you to the various utility companies. Getting into a property where the meter is shared is not always advisable, because of course you don't know what the other person's usage will be compared to yours. So my advice is to try and get into a property that you don't have to share a meter. If you do, then I would have some discussion with the landlord prior to moving in.
So before we move into our rental property, how do we get it move-in ready?
Okay, what I would advise is to make sure that the property has been properly cleaned. I'd also make sure that any of the fans, the AC units, if any, if it's coming with appliances, that they've all been serviced and cleaned. I'd also recommend that you do maybe a pest control servicing. Do it ahead of time so that it's all ready for you when you're there and ready to move in.
Would it be me that's paying for all of this to be done, or would my realtor ensure that the landlord has this done before I move in?
The realtor will assure that most of these things are done. Again, it's going to be based on your lease agreement, what the landlord is going to be responsible for and what you're going to be responsible for. But usually they would do all of the things I had mentioned to get a property ready.
Is there anything that I should know before moving into my rental property? Any tips, anything that I would need to know?
One thing I would definitely do, especially if you're working through a realtor, is to go ahead and meet the landlord and maybe go to the unit, find out what the rules and regulations are, if it is in a complex, an apartment or a townhouse, see if you're allowed to have pets, if you're not, see what the maintenance costs are, if any, what that includes. Pools, sometimes tennis courts, elevators, you have different costs involved with maintenance. So you want to find out ahead of time. I would also advise that you go and probably meet your neighbors. It's always beneficial to know who you're going to be living next to.
And what is the average cost of a realtor service?
Okay, we are paid a commission, and we're paid a commission by the owners or the landlords. The people who are renting or purchasing generally don't pay us. There are specific situations where we are buyer's agents when it is involving a sale, but where rentals are concerned, it's strictly that the landlord pays us.
And it's a percentage of what the property is valued at?
Right. Or in a rental case, it's usually a month's rental plus GCT on our service. Okay, so basically anyone who is renting, when they call somewhere to ask and inquire, they call a real estate office, they call an ad in the paper, they are not generally charged a fee. We've heard that people have done this, but that is not the way that a realtor does it. At the same time, it is also beneficial for the lessee to go to a realtor because we protect them as well, and we go over things that perhaps they wouldn't have known about a lease, and we can guide them through it and make sure that they're all okay with the clauses, because there are different clauses in leases that you really have to adhere to as a tenant, and we protect them. We protect the tenant as well, and we sort of guide them. So we feel that it's the best way. Just go to a realtor.
At the end of the day, it makes sense to go to a realtor, whether you're a lessee or a homeowner.
That is correct.
Erin, thank you so much for having us. I definitely now understand why it's so important to have a realtor, and of course to come to Valerie Levy and Associates.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
On the other side of the break, we'll be talking to Paula Sharp from Arandi Moving and Storage Company, where we'll take a closer look on how to make the moving process a lot less stressful. Stick around. Home Sweet Home. We'll be right back.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo. The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodge & Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
from Orandi Moving and Storage Company. Hi Paula, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, so tell me, what are some of the services that you offer?
Well, apart from the local relocation moving service that we are well known for, we also offer storage, furniture refinishing, remodeling, refurbishing. We offer international shipping services. We do concierge services, which includes like your packing and your wrapping of items, painting. We also offer key drop-off or pick-up services. So for someone who is really on the go, you know, you might be out of town or out of the country, but you need to move within that space of time, you can drop off your keys and we will do your move. And when you get back, all you have to do is make up your bed and lie in it.
Some people get really scared about the whole moving process. Why do you think this is?
I think a lot of it has to do with uncertainty. For one thing, it's hard to remember every single detail of what needs to be done when you're moving. Did you arrange for your light to be turned off where you're moving from, to be turned on where you're moving to, and all your other utilities? You need to get the place taken care of where you're moving from, you know, so that you can get your security deposit back if you were renting. And is the place that you're moving to, is it properly prepared, you know? Is there a leak?
So it's all the little uncertainties that kind of, you know, make a person nervous.
Exactly.
But here at Orandi, you know exactly what can happen, should happen, and you make it just seamless.
Exactly. So we do offer tips.
So a little checklist to kind of help the customer along. Okay. Right. And if I know I'm moving, when should I call you?
As soon as you realize that, yes, you're definitely going to move, you want to give us a call.
Okay.
What that does, it allows the moving consultant to start helping you to prepare for the move. So apart from sending you the tips, there are some questions that would be asked to help to determine what kind of services you would need us to provide.
How do I know what size truck to ask for?
We encourage persons to be completely open with us. Let us know really what it is that you have that you want to move, even if it's just a wish list, and then we can give you an idea of what type of vehicle you would need. The next thing is, if you're around town and you're unsure, during the interview process, your consultant will make a determination that we might need to do an inspection.
People have a lot of fragiles. What should happen if the moving men break something? Because we know accidents do happen sometimes.
Okay, yes, accidents do happen. Well, before I get to that, I just want to note that there are certain precautions to be taken to avoid this kind of thing. If you're going to try to pack these things on your own, they need to be packed in a particular way to avoid damages. Once you pack it yourself, if it's not done properly, then accidents can happen. However, once you ask us to do it, we will pack it in order to protect it properly from damages. However, in the unfortunate event of damage, we do have a claim system.
And if I'm packing my own furniture, what are some tips that I need to know?
If you're going to do your own packing, first, unless you're an expert at this, we really would not recommend it. But you would want to know what type of material it is that your furniture or your items are made out of, so you can know what type of material you need. If it's glass, porcelain, or anything that is really fragile, then you would want to make sure that you bubble wrap and so on those items, or foam. In the absence of that, then you want to pad as much as possible. You can use newspaper, wrapping paper, but you want to make sure that you wrap it as best as possible and pad it properly.
Everything is moved. The trucks are now at the new location. The moving men will take each piece of furniture out, unwrap it, and place it where you want it to go?
In the premium service, concierge service, the unwrapping, unpacking, setting up of everything, that is included. In your regular moving service, they do place the items wherever. So for instance, they will not just take your bed and leave it in the living room. No, they're going to take it, they're going to put it in the bedroom, and they'll place it as you direct.
I've been asking a lot of questions regarding like a personal move home to home. Do you do commercial business moves?
Yes, as a matter of fact, at least 80% of the commercial moves that I know, at least in the corporate area, we do those.
What if there's someone overseas moving to Jamaica?
Once it's landed here, we can take everything from there, from clearance to haulage, delivery. Once it's in our hands, then we take it, we do the whole thing. We also do the debris removal. So we unpack the stuff and all those packing peanuts and shredded paper and whatever else that might be there. If you want us to cart that away, we'll do that for you.
And then of course you must do moves where Jamaicans are moving overseas.
Yes, and that is where we also do the full service once again. From coming, we do the inspection, we go to your location, do your inspection, and from there, every single thing. Pick up, pack, wrap, loading. We see to all the customs paperwork, all the paperwork that needs to be done. On the other side, we arrange for the clearance and delivery. Once it gets to the destination, we do everything. And we also advise our clients on certain limitations. You know, we give them tips. For instance, if you're going to Miami, you need to understand that civilians are not allowed on the port. You must have a broker. If you're going to Canada, you have to go to the port to identify yourself so that the documents can be released to whosoever
and
your agent is.
you help out and you let everybody.
So we let everybody know this is what you need to do, and so on. And if you need the house cleaned up and repainted after you've moved out, or if you need it cleaned and repainted before you move in, we have a crew that we send to go ahead and
You're making me feel so
you.
excited to move, Paula. It's like I want to move now. Thank you so much. It's the process doesn't seem as daunting knowing all of this information, knowing that you're here to help.
Oh, absolutely. That's why we're here. We do this. Our motto is we take the hassle out of moving, and that's what we really aim to do.
Yeah. Really and truly, it doesn't matter. Moving up anything, business, personal.
Local or international.
I need to call because the process too, it seems a lot easier when you have a moving company helping you out. What does this usually run? A general cost of moving?
Okay, I'm going to give you, for instance, around town the cost, which can go anywhere from $18,900 and going up, depending on what kind of services you ask for.
And is the 18,000, is that a one trip or multiple trips?
That is for one trip.
Okay.
But that includes the truck itself, and that's a truck cost. That includes the truck itself and the crew, and that includes going in, you know, getting your stuff, put them in the truck. When you get to your destination, taking those out and placing them where you want them placed throughout the house. There's no additional charge for placing your items.
Yes, and sometimes getting those things up the stairs.
Yes, we take them up the stairs.
Give me some tips on moving.
Make sure that everybody knows what it is that they're responsible for in the move. We can't stress preparation enough. And this goes for both residential and commercial. Label your items. Do not use grocery store boxes and those boxes that you might get from I don't know, liquor stores and so on, because they have weight limits. And so they will have a tendency, you know, persons have a tendency to just grab a box.
And the box will bounce them out.
Exactly. The next thing is put your plates on the sides when you're packing them. They will hold up a lot better than when you put them flat.
Thank you so much. It definitely seems now like the moving process is not as daunting, especially if I call you here at Orandi Moving. Thank you so much for talking with us.
You are welcome, and we look forward to seeing you again sometime.
We'll be moving soon. Look forward to seeing you.
We look forward to getting your call.
Do you have a lot of stuff that you're not quite ready to part with? Well, then putting them in storage may be the best option for you. Stick around because after the break, we'll be talking to Don Granville from Princeville Commercial Storage.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Come.
Hi.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm here with Don Glanville from Princeville Commercial Storage. Thank you for joining us here on Home Sweet Home. Now, the name of the business implies that this is a storage facility and you provide storage for people. Tell us a little bit more about the service that you offer.
Self-storage, as it is referred to. It's a commercial storage where persons in corporate world or residential owners can and do store their valuables. Remember now, it is not so much that we are doing the physical storage. That is why it is self-storage. It is the individual or his representative who would view the storage facility, and once we have the size unit that they're comfortable with, they decide on that unit. We are in control of the exit and the entrances, but within that storage space, which happens to be 125,000 cubic feet. That space is compartmentalized into 25 units. And each unit, the prospective lessee would have examined and said, well, yes, this is suitable to me. And he selects the storage, he signs the contract, and he puts on his lock onto that particular storage.
So you don't have a key?
We don't have a key to his unit.
And how much do one of these units run?
$22,000 to $60,000 per month. This one on the left is a very large unit, one of the largest we've had. And Shell used to be in here, Shell company.
So an individual can come in and pick the size storage unit that they need to suit whatever it is that they're storing. And once they get that key, they can come at any time that they want in and out of their storage unit, or it's between certain times?
Well, it's between certain times. So Monday to Friday, they can come anytime between 9 and 5 o'clock. Saturday or Sunday on request.
And what are some of the restrictions as to pieces that are not allowed to be stored here?
All products within the laws of Jamaica. So most things are stored here.
How long can I have a storage unit for? Is there a maximum amount of time?
There's no maximum, but there's a minimum. Usually we are in leases, so a minimum period of a year. Dependent on the nature of the case, there might be somebody who may be building a house, and for some reason or other they have to store some of their furniture while or renovating their house. In that case, we could adjust that 1 year period to about 6 months.
And where are the storage units located?
The storage units are at the western end of Princeville Commercial Center on the ground floor.
So we're going to head down to the storage units now?
Most certainly, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Glanville, thank you so much for showing us around Princeville Commercial Storage, and it's so central here whether you have residential or commercial storage needs. Thank you very, very much.
It's indeed a pleasure, and thank you very much for choosing Princeville.
we've come to the end of this week's episode of Home Sweet Home, where we took a look at some of the steps to make moving so much easier. I'm Jody. See you next week.
Started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Michelle Chung, CEO and co-founder of Honey Bun in Jamaica, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
JAMPRO aims to increase the export of non-traditional products and of course support the development of Jamaican MSMEs. To that end, they've partnered with the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association and the Jamaica Business Development Corporation to launch the third installment of Export Max. I'm Theodore Henry for Business Access TV. Stay with us.
It is good to be here, and it's a pleasure joining you for the launch of the third iteration of this program. This morning's event is a fitting tribute to the industry players and signals a great promise for the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and the importance that has been placed on export diversification. This launch seeks to build on the success of Exports Max 1 and 2, which together recorded over $2.2 billion in sales. Indeed, its previous success sets the stage for the implementation of this third iteration, which we are now undertaking on a much larger scale. Let me take this opportunity to commend the JAMPRO on conceptualizing and taking us this far with this program. And let's welcome our new Export Max partners, the Jamaica Business Development Corporation and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. With their strengths, we'll be joining forces to improve and efficiently manage and implement the program. And I'd like to thank our sponsors and future participants. You have signed up for a game-changing program that will have national impact. Jamaica has strong export potential and growing export capacity. The imperative for achieving greater export performance and thus realizing export-led growth and global competitiveness in our exports as part of the export strategy is therefore of extreme importance as we strive for national prosperity and wealth creation. In the globalized economy, it is critical that Jamaica becomes highly organized in order to be fully integrated into the world economy. in a manner that allows us to elevate our position on the global value chain and supply chains. Jamaica has been standing still for too long. Standing still while our trading partners have been taking steps to implement best practices for business and trade-friendly environments. This ministry, therefore, through its agencies, is seeking to attain greater diversification in the export industry by achieving higher value addition in priority sectors, increasing the value of non-traditional export of goods through increased volume and higher value addition, increasing the contribution of services exports as a percentage of our overall exports, including our creative industries, and increasing penetration in existing markets and accessing new and emerging markets. And let me add to that the specifics, some specifics which I want you to implant in your minds. There are 3 distinct underdeveloped markets. Let me just mention what those 3 are. The tourism industry. Too much of the fresh and processed foods that they consume are coming in on the planes with the tourists. And we have the capacity to supply them. Second, CARICOM. 16 countries in CARICOM. All of them are net importers of food, fresh and processed. Yet, we export precious little to CARICOM, and we have the privilege of exporting it duty-free. And what's the third significant market? The Jamaican diaspora. In Canada, the United States, and England, the market is as big as Jamaica. Somebody from London told me recently that because they cannot get what they want in Jamaica, they import the stuff from Africa and slap a Jamaican label on it. Castor oil, by the way. A lot of castor oil that is now being sold internationally with the Jamaica label on it. The raw material is not from Jamaica. Unacceptable. So as government, we are committed to promoting brand Jamaica to the world, identifying new trade and investment opportunities in order to spur economic growth. My ministry will continue to work with critical stakeholders to enable them to capitalize on opportunities in the export market, as more than ever, greater focus must be placed on growing our economy through exports. One of the things that the ministry is committed to doing is changing the soft infrastructure that will support the growth of trading across borders. To this end, a few weeks ago, we launched a trade facilitation portal that will house the information about all the various processes that underpin trading across our borders. It is our vision that the trade information portal will be the central source of information that will ensure that if someone is an exporter, or even if they are dreaming about being an exporter, they need only to visit this one place that will provide them with all the knowledge they need to navigate the trading process. On the heels of this, we are also excited about the progress that we are making in implementing a single trade electronic window for the government, which will see all the various government processes integrated into a single online system that will allow for all trade-related transactions to be done online, supported by a robust risk management system to protect the country's borders and its reputation overseas. And so Export Max is only one more prong in the government's network of activities that will allow for the framework for each and every exporter to experience success, and ultimately for us to achieve economic growth and prosperity in Jamaica.
Your your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Manager, model maker.
Being technician.
Animator.
Good job.
Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
So, welcome. So let me start out by asking Dan, Export Max, I know Export Max started within Jampro. Why Export Max 3 and what makes it different this time around?
Okay, thanks Claude, and good morning ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to be here at the launch of Export Max 3. Why are we doing Export Max 3? It's actually one of the programs that I'm proudest of in my time at Jampro. I think that, as the minister said, export is one of our critical pieces, is critical in our lifeblood. It's in our DNA. We have to export. We're a small island nation. We have tremendous products. We need to take them to the world in a more organized, systematic way where we respect standards, we understand the adaptability of our products to market demands, where we understand the markets that we are trying to penetrate. Export Max is that program. The results that we got out of Export Max 1 and 2 show what a deliberate program can do, where you start by diagnosing what does the product need to be adapted to market demand, what evolution needs to go on in the company itself. So it's not just the product, but it's also the management that must have the right mindset to penetrate international markets. So we're identifying that demand, identifying the market trends, helping the companies to adapt their products, and that mentorship, which we brought on in Export Max 2, is a critical component, because the ones who are successful must help the ones who have not started yet or who have not yet been successful. So that was the innovation of Export Max 2. And what we decided in Export Max 3 is that to more than double the number of companies in the program, we really couldn't do it alone anymore, because Export Max is a really labor-intensive and brain-intensive project. It needs a lot of time spent hand-holding companies, explaining export to them, helping their management to be ready. So we really needed the help of our partners, and we're really, really proud and excited and energized that we have two such fantastic partners, as well as the other sponsors who have come on board, because we need more expertise, we need more hands on deck. Export is not easy. Standards in the international market are constantly becoming more critical, more difficult. So we needed partners on board who could help us to interpret some of the issues on the international market, some of the standards. You see, Bureau of Standards is on board, and also to help galvanize those exporters to greater effort and to greater understanding. And then we needed the business development side that JBDC can bring to really help companies to develop their business plans, develop their loan applications, to become more formalized, develop their bookkeeping acumen. We think this is one of the most important programs that Jampro and the country have ever created, because we think that this is an integrated way of taking our MSMEs the next step forward. We are very excited, and we just want to have more participation from the MSME community, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and it's when you start on that journey of trying to understand how do I get from point A to point B, that you start to realize what it is you don't know and how and where you can find help. So really this is a plea to and a stimulus and an encouragement and almost a demand of the SME sector listening to us today. You need to get on board, because this program can change your life professionally and change your export horizon.
Okay. Valerie, you decided without hesitation, came on board. Why did you see training and capacity building as such important components for exporters?
Our logo speaks for what we do, which is business development in the fulsomeness of it, and how can we help you. So we know for sure that capacity building is even beyond that thing called training. It's really getting into the nitty-gritty of the companies, the enterprises, looking at the concept, if it makes sense, whether local or external market, putting the proper structures in place, and as Dan says, formalizing the business. It means governance have to be in place. You have to know your numbers to know what stories are coming out. Worse, if you're thinking of exporting, you have to be really secure in moving forward. So we have been spending a lot of time with our client group preparing them for the market, because for us, global market is right here in Jamaica. So standards must be in place, governance must be in place, and you must be thinking business. And I agree with Dan, we have to get over that hump of doing a little thing until some big job comes along, because it's not going to come along. So it means that we have to be innovative, and we have to be on target for moving forward. We're going to be looking, as we said, as we had agreed, at all the innovative industries that have the possibilities for export. So food, niche markets, high quality, value-added products, non-food, services, certainly the technology-based industries, and the creative industries in all aspects have to be part of that big umbrella. Our mandate is to help them. So even if they come and they're not ready for Export Max, it doesn't mean that they can't be in the passageway. So they need not hesitate. They need to come forward. If they're not in that lane, it means you're going to prepare them for whatever is appropriate. So there is no reason to sit and wonder if. You need to come forward and let us work together and see which lane you are really in. And if you happen to move into this fast track, no, that's wonderful. If not, you're on the way to preparation. Because we must export. Dan keeps saying export or that. I think we have been in coma because we're waiting to die.
When we look at the program, or we look at life, we always like to say nobody born big. We all are a product of training, exposure, and experience. And you almost need all three in the right combination to be successful. So in the area of mentorship and advocacy, I think JMEA coming on board, which will have a portfolio of businesses that are already exporting, play a very important role. So I'd love to hear from you, Metri. Tell us in plain terms, how do you see the JMA supporting this effort and your decision to come on board?
Well, when I heard Diane and Valerie speak, I realized that what we have here is a perfect marriage. 2 women and 1 man. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, what we have is a perfect marriage here. Because what we have is the JMEA that has the base of membership. Our membership
cannot get what they want in Jamaica. They import the stuff from Africa and slap a Jamaican label on it. Castor oil, by the way. A lot of castor oil that is now being sold internationally with the Jamaica label on it. The raw material is not from Jamaica. Unacceptable. So as government, we are committed to promoting brand Jamaica to the world, identifying new trade and investment opportunities in order to spur economic growth. My ministry will continue to work with critical stakeholders to enable them to capitalize on opportunities in the export market, as more than ever, greater focus must be placed on growing our economy through exports. One of the things that the ministry is committed to doing is changing the soft infrastructure that will support the growth of trading across borders. To this end, a few weeks ago, we launched a trade facilitation portal that will house the information about all the various processes that underpin trading across our borders. It is our vision that the trade information portal will be the central source of information that will ensure that if someone is an exporter, or even if they are dreaming about being an exporter, they need only to visit this one place that will provide them with all the knowledge they need to navigate the trading process. On the heels of this, we are also excited about the progress that we are making in implementing a single trade electronic window for the government, which will see all the various government processes integrated into a single online system that will allow for all trade-related transactions to be done online, supported by a robust risk management system to protect the country's borders and its reputation overseas. And so Export Max is only one more prong in the government's network of activities that will allow for the framework for each and every exporter to experience success, and ultimately for us to achieve economic growth and prosperity in Jamaica.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is a play.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
In this one degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Manager, model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
Good job. Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
So, welcome. So let me start out by asking Dan, Export Max, I know Export Max started within Jampro. Why Export Max 3 and what makes it different this time around?
Okay, thanks, Claude, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to be here at the launch of Export Max 3. Why are we doing Export Max 3? It's actually one of the programs that I'm proudest of in my time at Jampro. I think that, as the minister said, export is one of our critical pieces, is critical in our lifeblood. It's in our DNA. We have to export. We're a small island nation. We have tremendous products. We need to take them to the world in a more organized, systematic way where we respect standards, we understand the adaptability of our products to market demands, where we understand the markets that we are trying to penetrate. Export Max is that program. The results that we got out of Export Max 1 and 2 show what a deliberate program can do, where you start by diagnosing what does the product need to be adapted to market demand, what evolution needs to go on in the company itself. So it's not just the product, but it's also the management that must have the right mindset to penetrate international markets. So we're identifying that demand, identifying the market trends, helping the companies to adapt their products, and that mentorship, which we brought on in Export Max 2, is a critical component, because the ones who are successful must help the ones who have not started yet or who have not yet been successful. So that was the innovation of Export Max 2. And what we decided in Export Max 3 is that to more than double the number of companies in the program, we really couldn't do it alone anymore, because Export Max is a really labor-intensive and brain-intensive project. It needs a lot of time spent hand-holding companies, explaining export to them, helping their management to be ready. So we really needed the help of our partners, and we're really, really proud and excited and energized that we have two such fantastic partners, as well as the other sponsors who have come on board, because we need more expertise, we need more hands on deck. Export is not easy. Standards in the international market are constantly becoming more critical, more difficult. So we needed partners on board who could help us to interpret some of the issues on the international market, some of the standards. You see Bureau of Standards is on board, and also to help galvanize those exporters to greater effort and to greater understanding. And then we needed the business development side that JBUC can bring to really help companies to develop their business plans, develop their loan applications, to become more formalized, develop their bookkeeping acumen. We think this is one of the most important programs that JAMPRO and the country have ever created, because we think that this is an integrated way of taking our MSMEs the next step forward. We are very excited, and we just want to have more participation from the MSME community, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and it's when you start on that journey of trying to understand how do I get from point A to point B that you start to realize what it is you don't know and how and where you can find help. So really this is a plea to and a stimulus and an encouragement and almost a demand of the SME sector listening to us today. You need to get on board, because this program can change your life professionally and change your export horizons.
Okay. Valerie, you decided without hesitation, came on board. Why did you see training and capacity building as such important components for exporters?
Our logo speaks for what we do, which is business development in the fulsomeness of it, and how can we help you. So we know for sure that capacity building is even beyond that thing called training. It's really getting into the nitty-gritty of the companies, the enterprises, looking at the concept, if it makes sense, whether local or external market, putting the proper structures in place, and as Dan says, formalizing the business. It means governance have to be in place. You have to know your numbers to know what stories are coming out. Worst, if you're thinking of exporting, you have to be really secure in moving forward. So we have been spending a lot of time with our client group preparing them for the market, because for us, global market is right here in Jamaica. So standards must be in place. Governance must be in place. And you must be thinking business. And I agree with Dan, we have to get over that hump of doing a little thing until some big job comes along, because it's not going to come along. So it means that we have to be innovative,
Right.
and we have to be on target for moving forward. We're going to be looking, as we said, as we had agreed, at all the innovative industries that have the possibilities for export. So food, niche markets, high quality, value-added products, non-food, services, certainly the technology-based industries, and the creative industries in all aspects have to be part of that big umbrella. Our mandate is to help them.
Right.
So even if they come
Right.
and they're not ready for Export Max,
Right.
it doesn't mean that they can't be in the passageway.
Okay.
So they need not hesitate. They need to come forward.
Right.
If they're not in that lane,
Right.
it means you're going to prepare them for whatever is appropriate. So
Right.
there is no reason to sit and wonder if.
Okay.
You need to come forward and let us work together and see which lane you are really in.
Right.
And if you happen to move into this fast track, no, that's wonderful. If not, you're on the way to preparation. Because we must export. Dan keeps saying export. I think we have been in coma because we're waiting to die.
When we look at the program, or we look at life, we always like to say nobody born big. We all are a product of training, exposure, and experience. And you almost need all three in the right combination to be successful. So in the area of mentorship and advocacy, I think JMEA coming on board, which will have a portfolio of businesses that are already exporting, play a very important role. So I'd love to hear from you, Metri. Tell us in plain terms, how do you see the JMA supporting this effort and your decision to come on board?
Well, when I heard Diane and Valerie speak, I realized that what we have here is a perfect marriage.
Okay.
2 women and 1 man. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, what we have is a perfect marriage here.
Right.
Because what we have is the JMEA that has the base of membership. Our membership base is about 400 companies, most of which and many of which are small to medium-sized companies, which is the base that we need. Then we have Valerie, who is going to do the business development process, and then Jumper, that's going to deal with the export market.
Right.
What we bring to the table is a lot of hand-holding. We are about solving problems and solving issues.
Right.
So they're going to have issues. There's no question about it.
Right.
I think one of the ways we could say it is that we're a big brother to the companies, and we hold their hands and we walk with them through the process. Right. We just go, Valerie will take them to a particular stage, and then we will take them from there until we're ready to hand them off to Jampro to really go and do the export. But I wanted to say that the JMEA is fully committed to this program. That's why we have joined. We recognize how important it is. And as Diane said, it is probably one of the most important initiatives that any agency in Jamaica has put in place. The numbers speak for themselves, and we hope to be a part of this process going forward for a long time to come.
How does one apply for the program? Could you give some thoughts on that?
Thank you. I was hoping you'd ask that question. We have a kiosk at the back. We have several Jampro members of our team here. We have an expression of interest form, which you can get from our team at the back. Copies of the form are also available from the various agencies and on our website. www.dobusinessjamaica.com. You can download this expression of interest form and send it in, and we will be happy to contact you and start the journey with you, because this is a journey. It's a 3-year program. This is really about helping you through a process and on a journey to success. Tell your associates, people you know who have a product or who even have an idea. They can start talking to JBDC from the idea stage. So let's create a movement that can change export.
Thank you, Dan. So I'll throw it out. Any final thoughts?
This is an example, the collaboration, the example how we in Jamaica should work together.
Right.
Because no one institution or person
Right.
has all the skills, all the information.
Correct.
And until we start putting the ego behind the door and
Right.
working together, we're not going to move. So I'm celebrating from JBDC
Right.
the kind of collaboration that we have agreed to have between our agencies. I think it's a good move,
Right.
and we know success is down the lane.
Betray, any final
In
thoughts?
closing, I would ask everybody in this room, when you leave here today, call 5 persons that you know that are in business. Let us be oversubscribed.
Yes.
Let us have that problem. Let us reach back out to our sponsors and tell them that we need more from them, because this is good for Jamaica.
Thank you, Metri.
We have some Export Max graduates in the audience, and I think it's important not only to hear from us, but to hear from people who are actually on the program. So dare I say that Rita Hilton is on his
Yeah, they're going to be on the
talk.
program. Yeah, they're
So Rita, Omar, I think
Michelle.
you're all going to talk later on. So
All right, a round of applause for the head of agencies. Thank you very much.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I'm going to invite some past Export Max participants to speak. Rita Hilton from Carita, Jamaica, and Omar Azan, CEO of Boss Furniture. So in the spirit of ladies first, I'm going to ask Rita Hilton to come and just give a couple of remarks about her experience with Export Max.
I think this is a great opportunity. Having benefited from Export Max 2, I'd like to highlight some of the things that made it so important for me and what the results have been like. It was important for me because it allowed me to step into the Caribbean export market. Carita has been in business for 34 years, and our whole business is aligned with exports. We were primarily involved in fresh produce exports, but recently we've been adding value to Jamaican products and trying to build up that component of bringing more value to Jamaica. Now, with Export Max 2, what did I benefit from? Going into the Caribbean market, which I didn't know at all, and I have to tell you that out of that, we have one concrete market which we opened in the Bahamas. And that partner has been so impressed with our output that they have come with a proposal to invest in our company and buy equity into our company. I learned that I wasn't really completely prepared to take advantage of all the opportunities. So if you're going into Export Max 3, come with an open mind. You think you know it, you don't know it. Learn, absorb, and execute. You need to have a partner on the ground in the territory that you're going to be working with that will teach you about that market and the market needs. It's not Jamaica, and it is not the globe. It is a very special type of market, and each market has its own needs. So keep an open mind, learn from the opportunities. What was wonderful is the amount of work that Jampro put in before we went into the markets. And that was the critical success of the Export Max 2. Into every territory that we went, there were buyers available, and it wasn't the underlings that came to the market opportunities. They were high level personnel that came to talk business and to do business. The other thing that I learned so much from is the capacity building. You think you know how to run a business? Well, you don't, because the way you start is not the way you grow and keep on growing. You see all this white hair? That comes from years and years of learning. I started as a high school teacher, and our exports have reached close to $3 million US. And those are sales. That is not money to spend. That's money that you invest back in your business after you've paid the expenses. So don't think that you've achieved success and can drive a Mercedes-Benz. I still drive a pickup, okay?
I'll just say that for me, for my company, it's been an amazing experience. The team has been behind. There are times when I wasn't even up to doing some of the things, and they came and sat in my office and said, Omar, listen, we need you to get this thing done. And they would push me to do it. Today, I'll say historical. This is our first time in history that our company has receivables. Today, I checked it this morning, from 14 different countries owing me money at the end of this month to pay me, to pay my suppliers, where I think at the end of this month, I can probably pay all the suppliers I owe from just a foreign exchange earning. So that is a huge, huge, huge difference than where I was a few years ago. This is an excellent thing that JAMPRO is doing. I'll say it. You know me, I talk the truth every time I come up on the podium to speak. And, you know, we need to just get everybody behind this. Our Jamaican people, our staff in our factories, we need to push our exports to get this country going. Thank you.
I am inspired and excited this morning. And I want, on behalf of the entire team, JAMPRO, JMEA, JBDC, I just want to say thank you all for coming out and hearing this program and participating in this launch. So we're going to take you into the Caribbean, Europe, and the USA to sell your goods and services and to return with those all-important contracts and to deliver on the promise that you would have made to be a champion exporter. I expect this program will be a positive, life-changing experience for you and your businesses. So where do we go from here? The steps are very easy. We are inviting all business owners here to complete the registration expression of interest form. Following the expression of interest, you'll be required to complete a more in-depth application form. The deadline for submission will be January 30, 2019. Final selection of participants will be done by March 15, 2019. And by April, MOUs with all the participants will be signed, and that's when the real work begins. But it will be exciting, it will be fun.
This has been the launch of Export Max 3, and I've been your host, Theodore Henry. Keep watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Do you want to build your company's capacity or export your products or services to new global markets? Then you can be a part of Export Max 3, an enterprise development program for Jamaican companies. Sign up today. Applications close January 31, 2019. Expand your business for export growth. Visit dobusinessjamaica.com for details. Export Max 3, grow beyond borders. It's brought to you by JAMPRO, JMEA, and JBDC.
Takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
This week on Wealth Magazine Business Access, we sit with Ricky Mahfood, Executive Chairman at Hawkeye Electronics and Security Limited. On this episode, Mahfood explains how his upbringing has impacted him as a leader and why he is so passionate about keeping commitments.
Your word is your bond, and that has been something that has driven me. If you make a commitment, honor it.
Ricky Mahfood also tells us how Hawkeye continues to revolutionize the security industry and what's next for this Jamaican company.
I'm Ricky Mahfood. I'm the Executive Chairman of Hawkeye Electronic Security Limited. Ricky Mahfood is a family man, someone who is passionate about his wife and his children, and passionate about his Lord and serving him. I can be intense at times and focused when I need something done and done properly. And maybe some people may see me as a, type A personality, very driven and so on. And I guess in a way that I am driven by what is important to me and what I believe I am called to do. So that's probably a little of who I am. I was born in Kingston in 1958. Growing up in Kingston brings back very fond memories for me. A lot of our cousins lived relatively close to us, and on the weekends we would be together playing football, riding around the neighborhood, and as we grew older, riding motorcycles and so on. So I have really good memories of those days. I attended Surbiton Prep, and then from there went to Ligony Prep and on to Woolmer's Boys School. I entered Woolmer's in 1971, and in 72, you may not remember, but Woolmer's won the Manning Cup, the Olivia Shield, and the Walker Cup. So those are memories that are ingrained in me. Can't forget that. I left Woolmer's at the end of fourth form at 74, and our family migrated to Miami, where I completed high school and then went on and did some years in college. Leaving Jamaica and going to school in Miami was definitely an eye-opener. Because I was going to an all-boys school. Now I'm in a school with girls, no uniforms, and so on. So it was a totally different type of scenario. Fortunately, there were some Jamaicans there, and we connected with, and that kind of brought a level of stability to us. One of the things that we were not going to lose there was our identity. So during our years in Miami, we never lost our accent, and whereas rather being influenced by the people and the culture, we were the ones that were influencing those that were around us, and they started to talk like us. So while it was a shock for us in one way, it was a good learning experience for the time we were there. After leaving high school in Miami, I attended a junior college in Miami for 2 years and graduated with a degree in what's called architectural technology. I then went on to University of Florida, but kind of lost my focus on my passion for what I was doing. And after about a year and a half, I decided to just head back to Miami and start working. I did some time in sales. I did a couple of years in the restaurant business, managing an Italian restaurant and so on. And it was around that time in '81 when I decided that it was time to come home. Working in sales, for anybody that has, it's very challenging. Sometimes it is disappointing, but I found that in the disappointment is when I would kind of get challenged to do better and to strive and to excel. So it was a good time of learning for me, yes, interacting with customers and learning to do business, in terms of being punctual, delivering on what you promise and so on. And in a North American market, those things are crucial. You turn up late and you're out the door. You don't deliver on time and maybe the next order doesn't come your way. So yes, there were valuable lessons learned there. And I think those things kind of helped shape me along the way. Coming back to Jamaica in 1981, I was a young man, about 23 years old, and not quite sure what I was going to do. So I kind of tagged along with what my father was doing and worked with him, both my brother and myself. And he did a development on Shortwood Road called Woodlands. We worked with him there, and from there he did another development on Millsboro Avenue called the Pines. And again, I was there as his right hand. From there, about 1986, I branched out with my brother and we ventured into the world of security. In 1985, beginning Ranger Security, and then in '88, stepping into the electronic security field and opening Hawkeye Electronic Security. One of the biggest challenges for me would be when you lose a member of staff in the line of duty.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker. Game technician.
Animator.
With empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
So Business Access TV has impacted my business pretty much, in the obvious ways. Everywhere I go, people would stop me. Are you the girl that was on Business Access TV? I love your work is amazing. Of course, business-wise, orders came in through the interview. It's an ancient Japanese technique. The interview was great because I was able to explain my process and people really understood it. The impact of you doing an interview and showcasing it on Business Access TV is priceless. There's no dollar value for that. What is there to lose? You have everything to gain. It's been an amazing experience for me, and it will be for you.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV. Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Setting up Hawkeye was challenging in a number of ways, primarily because it was a security company. You're dealing with firearms and getting permits and licenses and so on. Along with that, you're now beginning a service-related business where you're employing people and you're running a 24-hour operation. So it was a learning experience, and the learning curve for me took a little while, but once we started, going and things kind of leveled out, probably around 6 months down the road, we had a big challenge, and that was Hurricane Gilbert in September of that year, which really was something I never really even thought of happening. And with that, it caused us to have to dig deep, because when you have a natural disaster like that, people are looking for the security to be there anyway. And to be honest with you, we had a group of men back then that were amazing. They slept at the office, ate bully beef and bread, morning, noon, and night. And we did our patrols and location checks and so forth. And amazingly, none of our customers lost anything during that time with Gilbert, where there was several months where things were in shambles. For us to survive during that time, and I think coming out of that, our customers began to speak about us, and word of mouth and what have you, and the company just began to grow. And in 89 and 90, 91 going forward, the company just continued to grow and strive. So yes, it was a definitely defining moment, I believe. I would say, one of the biggest challenges for me would be when you lose a member of staff in the line of duty. Very difficult time for me, because they're part of your family, somebody you work amongst, and it's hard, very hard to deal with. But at the end of the day, you realize that it's a part of the job that we do, and you just have to kind of deal with it and move on as best as you can and offer support to those around you and to the family and so forth. When I look at where we are today, 2016, it's humbling for me, and I give God thanks very often, because as I reflect back to those early days where we had maybe initially 5 employees, and I think we started with 13 customers, to where we are today with, within the guarding side of the business and the electronics, we have about 1,800 people working with us, and we're securing over 10,000 customers. So it is a humbling thing for me. And it also is something that causes me to just reflect on the persons that are part of our team, because it's not about me. It's really about the people that are on the team with me, that do the groundwork and the support and so on, and that deliver the service. And so a big thank you goes to those that are with us, those who have been with us, and help us along the way. security is a big issue and affects everybody. And I believe, the whole electronic security business has brought a level of affordability to the marketplace, which benefits everybody. So today, somebody moving into a home, a security system is part of what they would think of having, just as they would think of having cable TV, telephone service, and what have you. Security is a part of that thought process. And because of the affordability of it, you find more and more people now are opting for that and signing up to get a system installed, to get even a security system for their vehicle and what have you. So it's definitely a growing business. I think moving the company to the next level is remaining on the forefront of the available technology. From the very beginning, that was one of the things that I had my eyes on. What is out there, whether it's from Europe, North America, Asia, we must be able to offer that to our customers here. And it's something that we continue to do. We identify products and we test them, we bring them in here in our market, and when we see something that we think will work, then we introduce it to the marketplace and what have you. Going forward, it would be much of the same, because the whole technology industry is changing. Things are just going at such a dramatic pace, where you can view cameras at your home on your smartphone. I mean, a few years ago that was not possible. So it's just keeping our fingers on the pulse of what's happening in the world of security and bringing to market those products that would fit in here with our culture, and providing the back-end support, whether it's armed response, the technical support and expertise, and so on, to give our customers what they are looking for. I think the best piece of advice would be something my father taught me many years ago growing up. And it is a quote that said, "Your word is your bond." And that has been something that has stayed with me and has driven me. It's do what you say. If you make a commitment, honor it.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I'm Jean Laurie Chin, and I'm the Executive Director of ProCom, ProDev, and CCRP. BATV had heard about our outreach arm, which is a Caribbean community of retired persons. I think BATV is having a very positive impact. And as a result of that excellent feature, we got more members. So clearly people are watching BATV. I always say to my clients, you should have a 360-degree campaign. Do not limit yourself to one media house. And especially those who are in business, I think it's very important to include BATV in their portfolio.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and
effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
What drives me is a desire to deliver service to our customers, to come up with the systems that we think will better protect them, developing security solutions. That's one of the things we do at Hawkeye. It's not a matter of just providing A, B, or C, but it's looking at what a customer needs and developing a solution that is going to meet their needs and be an affordable option for them. So that, as I said before, and just having a desire to serve and to deliver service to our customers, that is really something that drives me and pushes me every day. I think the best piece of advice would be something my father taught me many years ago growing up. And it is a quote that said, "Your word is your bond." And that has been something that has stayed with me and has driven me. It's do what you say. If you make a commitment, honor it. And going a step beyond that, as a Christian, honesty and integrity are very important for me. And it's something that I share across the board at the company, that we must always be forthright with our customers, being honest and open and so forth. And so being a person of integrity and delivering on what I say is very important. Some of the things that we do at Hawkeye, throughout the years, we support different organizations, different charities, different homes, children homes, and so forth. And we believe this is an important part of who we are as a company in terms of giving back to the community and to the wider society. It's something we enjoy doing. When I am able to kind of wind down a bit, I enjoy my family. One of my favorite times is when we gather around the table to have dinner. I have 5 kids, so 7 of us are on the table, and it's just a wonderful feeling to just look at your children around you growing up and so on. I enjoy cooking. So sometimes when I get home from work, cooking helps relieve some of the stress. And so I'll go in the kitchen and prepare something. And I also enjoy cycling. I cycle with a group of guys and girls about 3 times a week. And again, that's a really good stress reliever and a time of just social interaction and, excellent exercise. My wife, Sandra, is a wonderful lady. First of all, to cope with me, because I'm not easy to be around sometimes. But she is a great wife and a great mother to our kids. We have 5 of them: Samantha, 12, Jessica, 13, Stephen 16, Sarah 17, and Matthew 20. And they're wonderful children. You know, you have the usual challenges as they grow through the teenage years and what have you. So we're learning. You know, parenting is something you learn as you go along. And, you know, as Christians, the Word of God is central in our home. And we share that with them, and we try and guide them accordingly so that their lives can be shaped by certain values and which we believe are important for them. When you ask about wealth, what wealth means, you know, at one point I would say, you know, the typical question, the typical answer, you know, financial security. But more and more I have come to the place where wealth to me at the core is having a right relationship with God. Because everything else is meaningless if that isn't in place. So you can have financial success, you can have good health and so on, but if that relationship with God is not there, then those things are not going to add up. So to me, that would be what I would put as being wealthy, being in a right relationship with God through Jesus Christ, His Son.
Hello, my name is Blake Widmer. I'm the co-founder of Deaf Can Coffee. And the exposure that we had to the just general community through Business Access TV itself is awesome. It was a big deal for them, you know, having BATV come here, and we were with you guys for probably 4 hours that day. It was a long time. We really appreciate your guys' openness to recognize that, yeah, captions are important. If a deaf person's watching it, how are they gonna understand what's being said? So. Looking back is just a big boost, encouragement for our team. If you're a business or an organization that wants to have yourselves featured on BATV, or you want to do advertising with BATV, what I would tell them is that you guys listen well and you ask good questions, and that will help, at the end of the day, deliver a really good product for your business too.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Diane Plummer, and I'm the Managing Director for Your True Shade. So the program that I participated in was Creating Wealth, and it would give viewers an idea of the different processes in Your True Shade, taking the products from the raw materials to the production and then finally to the consumer. Being on Business Access TV has definitely impacted my business because since the feature was aired, I got a lot of calls asking about the products, where they can get products, and asking additional information as well. Another thing that I did was to actually link the video to my social media posts so that persons can actually learn more about the brand. So for persons considering BATV, I would definitely recommend it because you will definitely see the payoff for it. Persons will definitely be interested in finding out more about you as well as your brand.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
Creating change. Building a future. Caring hands. Giving back. Touching hearts and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better. innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The National Baking Company gave birth to the National Baking Company Foundation, NBCF, which is a brainchild of businessman and philanthropist Gary Butch Hendrickson, signaling a new dawn, a new day. Change has come for our nation's children, our future generation. The foundation was launched in 2015 to further strengthen the company's philanthropic efforts. It supports numerous organizations including Lost Street Trade Training Center, Mustard Seed Communities, Food for the Poor, St. Patrick's Foundation, and the Union Gardens Basic School. Now, the foundation has launched its Little Leaders program in early childhood schools island-wide.
I'm very pleased to join you in launching the Little Leaders program, and I applaud and endorse this initiative. Education has always been, for me, a partnership exercise. No matter how much money we spend from the national budget, we still need to spend more. It is the most valuable and rewarding investment that any country or any company, for that matter, can make.
This is another year of a dream coming true for us. This is part of something that I think we get involved with emotionally in the company. I personally think it's the best thing that I have ever done, having this initiative. I do believe, and I continue to believe, that unless we can educate our children, we're just dooming them to a future of a percentage of what they could become. And that's the basis on which I do this.
Butch has long been a very serious advocate for early childhood education. And it emerged from a Crayons Count initiative that he was involved in for about 4 years. And it morphed into the Future Leaders arrangement. And it's all about early childhood education, supporting the teachers, getting supplies out into every corner of Jamaica, using the national infrastructure, National Bakery, with their vehicles and transport. And it's really all about getting the sort of 3 to 6 minds at that early stage and giving them the teaching and learning aids.
The Little Leaders program will ensure that all institutions registered with the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, will receive learning kits.
It's an early childhood initiative where we have been distributing kits to approximately 2,500 schools across the island, right throughout the island. This is the first year for Little Leaders, but it's the 4th year for National being on board with this kind of initiative. We are packing approximately 3,500 boxes. Some schools will receive A and B boxes depending on their size, and some schools will receive A boxes. The schools will come to various centers in the corporate area and collect their boxes. So our team of volunteers will go out again and ensure that each school receives their kits, they sign for their kits, and then they collect their kits. And basically they're on their way after that. We traverse as far as Portland to Hanover, delivering boxes right through the island. This is one of the biggest initiatives for the foundation. We took it on, but it was still under the Crayons Count brand. National has taken it on themselves to rebrand it and call it Little Leaders. The Crayons Count brand is going global. They want to go worldwide. National is keeping it local and trying to cover our needs in Jamaica before we try and help otherwise.
This means a lot to the Commission. The Commission is a regulatory body, so we do ensure that the standards, because there are 12 standards, and what's happening today actually impact one of the standards. The tools, the resources that you find at the early childhood institution. This creates equality among all our children. So whether you're in Morant Bay or you're at the Newville Point, as we often speak about, whether middle class, upper class, poor, everyone, it equalizes. Every child has the ability to have a Play-Doh. Every child has the same equipment being in that institution. So whether it's a prep school or it's a public school, you're having the same tool that enhances, and it does a lot for early stimulation. Because our children, kids learn differently. You need standardized toys. This is what National has done. We thank them. We wish they continue. We hope and we encourage more corporates to come on board because we have to get it right there. Our little ones, we have to stimulate them from early. And once you have a good, very strong foundation, you see the benefits. It translates to primary, then to secondary. And like I said, the best investment is at that age. And if we get it right, we have a better society. So we're very happy for this. We thank them. We actually want more because, again, I like to say, a government will never be able to provide all the resources. So we welcome corporate sponsorship, and that's why we're very happy for what National is doing today. And also to their staff, the involvement of their staff, that is quite commendable. What we're experiencing today, the staff members are out and they are doing the work. It speaks volume. It speaks to their commitment to a better Jamaica. And again, as Chairman of the Early Childhood Commission, we thank everyone, we appreciate, and we always say this, we always want more. We're happy for children, for a better Jamaica.
As the portfolio minister, let me tell you, this is music to my ears. For you to have a corporate entity giving back so much to Jamaica. This is the foundation of the education system to start our children right. And you know, I say so often that we have so many vulnerable children, so many vulnerable homes, a lot of poor parents who can't afford the necessary educational material to ensure that their children are well stimulated in their education journey correct. This is a fantastic amount of commitment and monetary investment in Jamaica's education system and the future of our children. And we are extremely happy, we are very proud, we are very grateful, and our commitment is to ensure that we work with this company and the other stakeholders, and of course the many ECIs, over 2,500 ECIs that have been targeted across Jamaica, to make sure that our children benefit from this investment and that Jamaica's education system will be second to none in the world.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
We're just trying to get them off on the right step, while they are the future.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirement: first degree in accounting. Employed at Dodge & Global. Willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
These Little Leader learning kits are packed at the National Bakery Warehouse, where volunteers with an aim to serve come together for the mission that will change the lives of our nation's children.
It's volunteer time. We have production workers from bun, biscuit, bread, giving up their time. When they come off the line, they come over and they help pack, or on the day off, they come and they help pack. So we just have a big cooperation from everybody. Everybody's on board. The garage, their team helps us load trucks and offload at the distribution centers. And some of the route salesmen also carry out some boxes in their truck.
The coordination in itself is pretty organized. We pull from the different plants, and every department is basically aware of what we're doing. So when the time approaches for the packing to be carried out, everybody come together, we arrange a room, all the items have been ordered, we have a target which we have to meet, we have a certain amount of boxes that we have to make, and they're separated into A's and B's. We have team leaders who are aware of what we're going to be doing, and so they align themselves and they carry it out pretty much. Usually the workers are very excited, so it's not an easy to get them to come over. The containers, when they arrive on the premises, when the time approaches for us to start packing, they're offloaded in our packing room. Based on the target that we have a conveyor, we align different stations, and everything is in order. So you just follow the conveyors as the boxes go down. You know what it is that you need in each carton and for each kit. And you just follow the process as it goes along. Everybody pretty much pitches in and get everything done together. It's a learning kit, and there are various different items that are in it. Pretty much it's a well-rounded kit that is targeted to development of these children, and I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. Different schools get different amount of boxes, whether A or B boxes, and the learning tools that are in the kits, they stimulate their development.
Packing the Little Leaders project, what we do on an annually, yearly basis now for the kids, early learners, kids, lot of crayons, Play-Doh, paint, ball, glue sticks, you name it, it's here. We're just trying to get them off on the right step, but they are the future kids coming up. It's just a pleasure for me being here to help out. Once it's for the kids, it's always a pleasure for me. And it's coming from our boss. He's inspired and he's doing this for the kids, and it's coming from him. We just all have to chip in. And so it's been a pleasure.
Today I'm here as a volunteer in packaging items to send out into the school as a part of our Little Leader program that we have going on. This is my first time as a volunteer. I've always known about this project that the company has always been doing, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. I've always been a person who purchases the national products, and I've always seen the branding on the products that they sell. For example, the bread, they always have a sticker across it. So I've always been interested and wanted to know what it was about, and then I read up about it. So to be here working and being a part of this, I'm very proud. I think it's a great thing that a company is doing for our community and the schools in our country. A lot of children have the potential, but they don't have the backing behind us. So for a company to be offering something like this, I think it's a great initiative on behalf of the less fortunate.
I'm here since Grand Count, and now it's Little Leaders. It's fun being here, packing the box and all of that. Trust me, the box all the work, from them seat, the fun is there. Not to mention when them open the box, because there's a lot of stuff as you can see on the table.
After the packaging is done, they are loaded onto the trucks. The trucks are then fueled with enough diesel for the long journey to distribute the Little Learners Learning Kits to over 2,500 institutions that are registered with the Early Childhood Commission, ECC. Upon arrival at their destination, the Little Leaders team prepared themselves for the day's events. A queue is then formed where persons verify the name of their institution, after which they are given a card that is indicative of how many packages they will receive.
I really appreciate what National has done, 101% and more, because of the creativity of the toys, the puppetry, the curriculum guide. It works with the material they have given us, and it really enhances the children learning, because some of the things that we never thought of, it was given to us so easy that we could use the material to prepare our lesson for the day. So I just want to say, big up to National. Thank you very, very much, National. We really appreciate everything that you have done, and continue to go out and give back to the school, and one love, and God bless all the National family.
They're very effective because they help to enhance the children's learning, and I like the quality of the products because they are very children friendly, and the children work well with them. I just want to say a big thanks to National for considering the early childhood education. I just want to say to them, continue to keep up the good work because they are doing great to the children of our society. May God continue to bless them.
My school is Marley Mount Primary and Infant School. I'm here this morning picking up the boxes from the National. I have 6 boxes here. The reason is because we have over 285 students at school, and so we have enough resources for them, to use. And yearly we come and we collect these boxes. The students use them immensely. They enjoy them, especially the Play-Doh, the crayons. They make stuff. We use puppets to teach our lessons in whatever. Especially we have puppets like the doctor, the nurse, the firefighter, and so on. And the teachers use those puppets to help to enhance their lessons and so on. Thank you, National Company, for what you're doing, and we hope that you continue to do this venture. It is really helping us out because when teachers have to find these things out of their pockets, to help out with their classroom, and to see that what they are doing for us, free of cost, we're entirely grateful for the help that we're getting. And I'm going to encourage the parents out there and the wider Jamaica to continue to support National Company in buying their products so that they can continue to support our schools.
I'm from the Blue Old Basic School in St. Catherine, up in the hills, cool hills of St. Catherine. And I'm here to collect my box from National. And I want to say thanks to them. The children are very excited about the playthings in the box. And this time, I believe they will be more excited for what they are getting.
I'm from Police Spring Basic School, which is situated at 44 Marley Gardens. And I'm thankful to National for giving us this wonderful gift to these children. They are so excited about these gifts. This is my second time collecting from National, and I do thank you.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this one degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Manager, model maker,
Game technician,
animator,
empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got. Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend. There are real opportunities everywhere you look. But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
The parish of Clarendon was another of several delivery stops for the Little Leaders. Welcome to Kellits.
We have been getting stuff from Crayons Count, and now it's Little Leaders that we're getting from. And we appreciate this stuff very much because it helps with the children at the school, you know, to develop their finer muscles and all that. And we're very grateful, you know, because it helps and cut back on parents have to provide some of these things. We're used to national because we buy national products, you know, and the trucks are in our area every day, you know, we support them. And we're grateful to National being a part of this program.
We appreciate everything that you do through the years for the children them, because we can't afford it and they make use of it. Your learning centers them and so forth. So each year they are looking forward towards it with the puppets and the blocks and everything they do and everything. Thanks to National for what they are doing and continue to do the work through the years to come.
Next up was Chapeltown, a market town in the parish. Representatives of various early childhood institutions in Kellits anxiously awaited the arrival of the Little Leaders truck and were grateful for the initiative.
And we appreciate you very much and for the work that you are doing all across the island for our basic schools. And each year you come, you give us more and more, and we appreciate it, because if it was left to us, we could not buy them to cater for the children. So we appreciate it a whole lot. and continue with your work. May God bless you richly.
And the children like it too. They all they are in them. You have to, shift them around and, them enjoy them. They're very grateful for them as well, parents as well. So I want to say thank you again over the years for what you're all doing for the early childhood.
The national company and the Little Leaders group, I just want to say thank you and continue to do the work that you are doing, because you're not only helping the children now, but in future they'll be better citizens. And I thank you.
The Augusttown SDA Basic School is one out of the 2,500 schools that have benefited from the Little Leaders initiative.
Augusttown has collected from Crayon Count, now Little Leaders. I'm expecting my teachers and students to be excited. I mean, students are excited by anything with colors. They're not going to be seeing it today. Teachers are going to, go into the box first, and we decide the age group for each thing, and then we put them on the different learning centers. I'd like to say to National and to Little Leaders, thank you so much. It will go a far way. Our students will appreciate it, teachers will appreciate it. Continue doing the good work.
I think Little Leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
The National Baking Company Foundation has touched the hearts of many, making the impossible possible, and in the words of the National Baking Company Foundation CEO, Gary Butch Hendrickson, who made all this possible along with his hardworking staff,
advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this one degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Dodge Internship Program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA Scholarship Program. This Scholarships Awards Program will be administered by the HR Department of Dodge & Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodge & Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.